Recently, I took a Greyhound bus and I thought I was gonna die on this bus. Have you guys ever rode the American bus system? Because I have plenty of times. I'm no strangers to this, but this time around it was a little different. I took a trip a couple weeks ago to Erie, Pennsylvania. Beautiful city, but my flight landed in Cleveland, Ohio. So I had to get somehow from the Cleveland, Ohio airport to downtown Cleveland so I can take a Greyhound bus all the way to Erie, Pennsylvania. And I needed to do all of this without getting jumped, apparently, because little did I know before I went into this trip, Cleveland, Ohio is not the most reassuring place.
Let's do this.
So chapter 1, what I call making my way downtown, faces pass, walking fast. Okay, that was a little cringe. All right, my flight lands in the Cleveland airport, okay? And if you've never been to the Cleveland airport, it's a very small, old airport. It feels like the government kind of just like left it alone to do its thing for years and kind of just forgot about it. It feels more like a train station than anything else. Now, chances are you've probably been to a bigger hub airport like the JFK, Denver, LA, Phoenix, or Seattle, or something like that. Those airports are meant to handle tens of thousands of people walking through it day by day, day in, day out, right? Cleveland Airport is more like figure it out. There's graffiti, the floors are really old and dirty, like you want to be careful where you sit. There's closed off areas that you're not allowed to go into. There's like caution tape and stuff. It's a very weird, ominous, like welcome to Cleveland feeling, right? So I head downstairs 2 floors down to take the metro. I could have easily taken the Lyft or an Uber to get to downtown, but we ain't got money for that. I'm a broke dude. I spent $50, literally $50 per direction on that flight. I ain't about to spend more money on an Uber to a Greyhound bus station than I did on my flight to that city. That's not happening. So I get downstairs, hop on the metro, and it feels like Gotham. I am, if it was darker, this would have been Gotham train station. No joke. I hop on the train, I feel like I'm in the Joker film. There's nobody on the bus. It's just me and this one other chick. If it was darker in the train station, I swear to God, she would have jumped out of her seat and ran to the closest security guard. Hell, I was about to do that. I felt weird. I felt awkward. It's just me and this one other chick. There's like graffiti. The windows are like frosted over, not from like frost, but like being scratched over so many times with like different graffiti and like tags and stuff. The windows have like a white hint to them from being scratched so much. The seats, like when you're walking down the aisle in the metro, like I had to interview the seat that I was about to sit on because like, dude, you don't know what the hell happened on that seat, so you have to like inspect it like a freaking health inspector. You don't want to sit on a seat that has some kind of weird stain on it, if you get my drift. I'm picking these seats. I sit down, we start heading out. More people hop on the train or the metro as we're going through Cleveland, but as we're going through Cleveland, I'm looking out this frosted white window, and it's like the government just forgot about the city, just like abandoned the city. There are brick buildings here, warehouses there, the parking lots are empty. We're going under a bridge that's like so covered in graffiti that you can't even see what the original paint color of that bridge was. It's giving off this ominous vibe. I swear to God, if it was nighttime, it would have been Gotham City. We eventually get to downtown Cleveland, which is ironically enough the last stop of the station. So we're all about to get off the train. The doors open up and we get slapped in the face with this huge gusts of wind. We all get off the train, we're heading up. I'm just following the crowd wherever people go, and there's just like, we all go up the stairs. We get into this area. It's kind of like a shopping plaza, but it's empty. Besides the people who just got off the train who are also just trying to get out and about into downtown Cleveland, the whole area is empty. All the storefronts are like closed. You know how you put like the metal gates in front of it and it's just like pulled up in front of it. The whole stair system to go like downwards is closed. It's this empty feeling that I got from this whole building. If that metro wasn't there, the whole place would probably be closed. And I noticed there's security for whatever reason. I'm assuming it's because of the metro, but like this place is empty otherwise. Who are you protecting? What are you protecting? I get to the door that's leading outside to Cleveland, and I try to open the door and it doesn't open. And I realize like the doors are chained shut from the inside. I'm like, what the hell? Why are the doors chained shut from the inside? Not the outside. It's as if the world is trying to tell me like, stop, please don't go, please rethink your life decisions. It was a really odd way of saying welcome to Cleveland downtown. Chapter 2, the descent is what I'm gonna call it. I get out the doors and I hang a right. Now I'm headed all the way to the Greyhound bus station. If I was to go there straight shot, no detours, no nothing, if I just walked there in one shot, it would probably take me like 20 minutes max. But I knew when I was getting into this trip that I was gonna have like a 5 to 6 hour window from when I land in Cleveland and when my bus takes off. I kind of wanted to see the city. I want to see what it's like. I want to go visit. There was like a museum, a rock and roll museum that I could have went visited. I want to go see the architecture. I want to go get maybe like a cup of coffee. And this is like, and I'll put up a couple pictures on your screen of what it looks like. This is like the sights, the photos that I took. It looks pretty cool. I feel like I'm in the center of downtown at this point because like there's people around me. People are walking back and forth to places. People chilling left and right. The buildings are open. There's stores open. It feels nice. It feels like a downtown. I'm like, all right, cool. It's not as bad as what it looked like from the outside or from the inside, should I say. I'm gonna go explore the city, see what I can do. I looked on Google Maps. There's this place called the Arcade. Sounds cool. Seems like my kind of place, and it's not too far off from my route where I need to go. Unlike the rock and roll museum that I was talking about, it's like a 20-minute walk to and 20-minute walk back, and it is cold outside. I am slapped. When I opened the door to get outside into Cliff, I was slapped in the face with like a wind chill. All right, it's cold. It was cold. I'm not gonna walk in this weather. So I scratched that. I said, okay, screw that. As I get closer to this arcade, or actually I should say, as I get further and further away from the original place that I got into downtown, people start disappearing, I guess is the proper way to say it. Stores start closing, cars start disappearing, traffic starts diminishing, buildings start feeling odd, I guess is the way to say it. The further and further I got, it felt like I'm running out of internal memory storage. Like things are just not rendering in, okay? That was the kind of vibe I was getting. I get to this arcade place, right? There's like no people around. There's like one street musician like with drums outside and hooked up to a speaker playing that. And that speaker, that street musician, there was nothing around, so I could hear the echo of every beat that he makes throughout the alleys that I'm passing. It was empty, bro. So this arcade place, I got to it. Dude, take a look at these pictures. It looks sick from the outside, right? It's like a Harry Potter movie. The pointed Gothic architecture, like the pointed roofs. It's like dark, bleak, black painting and color palette and so on and so forth. The windows are like, dude, it looks sick, right? I'm like, all right, cool. There's gonna be something interesting in there, hopefully. I was wrong. I opened the doors to Hogwarts, all right? I closed the door behind me and I turn around and it's a ghost town. It's empty. There's not a soul in sight except for this one person who photobombed my picture. The storefronts are closed. You can hear like, I don't know if it's AC or if it's just like wind coming through a broken window or something. You can hear like the wind passing through the building. It looks like a shopping plaza, right? But it's just like a in between two streets. They connected the dots, they connected the streets. Instead of an alleyway, they closed it, added a roof on top of it, and this is what you get. There's supposed to be stores around, but they're all closed. It's midday, guys. It's midday. Again, not that I'm gonna buy anything, but this feeling, it's like I shut the door and instantly it's just silence. You know what it felt like? It felt like God committed this, but then forgot to push it to the master branch. So it's just like out there in no man's land. And I shouldn't be in this area. It's like an Easter egg room for an old Nintendo game, 2D platformer that I'm not supposed to be in. Like the developer developed this, they were planning on using it, but then scratched the idea later. That's what it felt like. So that was disappointing, and I wanted to rectify the situation by getting a cup of coffee. It was a long day. I started at like 8 in the morning, and now it's like 3 or 4. I haven't had a coffee. I'm tired. I wanted something to drink. So I open up Google Maps. You would think that in a metropolitan city, like a known city, Cleveland, you've probably heard of it. It's not just some random one-off city out there, right? In downtown, you would think there would be a coffee shop available at 3 or 4 p.m. Wrong! There was nothing open along my route. Dude, you would think that in downtown there's a coffee store, but nothing. Dude, everything is either closed or there's this giant gap on the map. There is no coffee store. Nothing. You can't, dude, a freaking like 10 by 10 block piece of downtown, there is no coffee shop. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with, that's like business opportunity. Either that or there's a reason why there's no coffee shops in that area. I find this place called Lionheart Cafe and I start heading over in this direction. It's a little bit off my route, but I can still get there and it wouldn't add too much. Plus, time is not a matter right now. I have still like 4 hours till my bus comes. I am completely carefree. Let me tell you about when I'm on trips and I'm going out there, I am carefree, bro. Let me paint a picture for you what I look like, all right? I am carefree. Hands in my Adidas athletic pants on, a white hoodie, and a duffel bag behind my back, and Puma slides on my feet with socks. I look like a tourist, okay? I look like I do not belong. It is 30 freaking degrees outside, and I got slides, Adidas pants, and a white freaking hoodie. People were probably looking at me as if I'm lost, okay? I already stick out like a sore thumb. I have this white hoodie on. It's not that it's nice, but it's one of those bright white hoodies, all right? I got this in LC Waikiki like 10 years ago. If you know what LC Waikiki is, it's a cheap, like, touristic place. You go to Turkey, Istanbul, and you want like a t-shirt that says Istanbul on it. This is where you go. This is where you get that stuff. It was cheap. I got it years ago, but it still looks okay. And it makes me stick out like a sore thumb, especially since I have a black asphalt stain going down the left sleeve of my arm. Like, dude, I look like I do not belong. By the way, that story of that asphalt stain, let me know if you want to hear that one, because that is a story. So let me know down in the comments if you want to hear that one. This is what I look like, all right? The duffel bag on my back already makes me look weird, and the white hoodie on top just makes me stand out, man. As I get closer to this cafe, the NPCs around me start disappearing more and more, and the buildings around me start looking more and more abandoned. Like, there are storefronts midday that are completely closed, and they've looked like they've been closed for months. The sidewalk is getting empty. The cars are disappearing. There's people, like, listen, there are people on the sidewalk just laying down. All right, man. Like I don't know how to put this, man. There are people. I'm walking into a rough neighborhood, is what I'm saying. All right, looking like a sore thumb. I get to the cafe, open the doors, and instantly, it's like a socio-economic shift. That's when I realize, oh, okay, there's a reason why there's no coffee shops around here. That makes sense now. I felt weird walking into this coffee shop, but still, I went in there, I wanted a coffee, I ordered my Americano, and turned back and look at the customer profile, the people that are in here. Bro, I swear to God, it's like I entered a portal and left Cleveland, Ohio, and I am now in Silicon Valley. Everybody in here is like white-collar Silicon Valley tech bro type dude. You cannot script this enough. There is a dude sitting in front of the glass looking outside on his MacBook Pro with a scarf around his neck, fancy clothes, and a hot cup of coffee beside him, facing outside to the city. On one side of the glass, there's these Silicon Valley tech bros that are trying to make the next TikTok app, and on the outside, there are dudes literally laying down on the ground. What kind of glass is this? What is that thing made of? They call my name, I get my Americano, and I start heading for the door. As soon as I step outside, the door closes behind me and I stop in place. And I realize what I just did. Oh crap, this was a bad idea. I should not have gotten that coffee, because now, not only do I look like a tourist and stick out like a sore thumb, with slides on my feet, keep in mind, I can't run. I also have this cup of coffee in my hand that makes me look like I'm richer than I actually am. I saw myself in the third person, what I look like, and if I held a sign in my hand that said, "Come rob me," it would not have been any worse. Chapter 3. I'm gonna call this part The Prisoner. Now, I want to clear something up in your mind that might be forming after what I just said. I want to stop you from thinking that I get jumped in this story, because that's not what happened. It's more about the feeling that's building up inside me, the ethos that is building around this. I'm alone in this new city that I've never been into, and it's not the most nice in the world. I stick out like a sore thumb. It's like priming me up inside of me to be fearful of my surroundings. Does that make sense? Like, I'm getting more and more on edge and more aware of what's going on around me because of all this stuff that's happening. That is the feeling that builds up inside of me, and what happens on the bus is a result of all this that's built up in me, because I got my coffee and I started walking towards the Greyhound. I'm kind of done with my exploring. It's getting late. It's still freaking cold. I'm freezing. I'm done with it, right? I'm going to the Greyhound. About 1 block away from this Greyhound station. This is what it looks like, by the way. This is the picture I took. 1 block away, this stinging smell struck my nostril hairs like an electric shock. It was aggressive. I didn't know what it was. I kept walking, and the smell gets thicker and heavier and more stingy as I get closer to this Greyhound station. It's like a jellyfish. I've never been stung by a jellyfish, but I can imagine it's the stinging, right? Imagine that in your nostrils. Imagine getting a jellyfish sting in your freaking nasal canals. It's freaking burning me up, okay? Not enough to make me tear out, but it's heavy. About half a block from this Greyhound station, this is where the peak of the smell is. This is where it's at its fullest and tangiest, okay? You know how you like track a smell where it goes? You try to like pinpoint its location using your nostril GPS? I follow it with my head and my eyes, and I tilt my head left, and I see alongside the wall of the sidewalk, some dude took the meanest, most rank dump I have ever seen in public. This was a solid chunk of human manure just sitting stuck in the corner of the sidewalk in the wall. If it was a different color, you would think it's freaking cement. Dude, this thing was solid, and it looks like it's been there for days, just building up this rank smell. This is what's sitting outside of the Greyhound, okay? This huge dump. There are cardboard boxes just sitting outside this Greyhound station. I don't know what they were used for. The windows, they are just broken into, like someone threw a rock at them and it shattered. They didn't fix it for years, is what it looks like. 2 windows like that. Inside the Greyhound station, the initial front door area is completely empty. Not an employee in sight, okay? Nobody. The front desks are empty. The lights are off. It is like the floors are freaking filthy. All right. I've been to Greyhound stations before. I know what it's like. I've been to Philly's Greyhound station, now this Cleveland one, the LA one, Arizona one, Utah's, Washington one. I've been on Amtrak's. I've seen a lot. This one, maybe not as bad as Philly's Greyhound station, but this one was pretty bad, okay? There was just one guy sitting on a foldable Costco chair in front of the door. I had no idea he was an employee until I saw his shirt and it said Greyhound. Dude, Greyhound is having their freaking sole employee that is in charge of this entire bus station sit on a metal Costco foldable chair. If I'm being honest, I don't even think that chair is Greyhound's. I think that dude actually bought it from Costco and brought it just to sit. Time passes, I watch a couple Netflix shows on my phone, finish up my coffee, have something to eat, and I got on the bus. Bus boarding was around like 8 p.m. at night, so it was dark outside. The orange lights around were like perfectly setting up this Gotham feeling. About 30-45 minutes in on this bus, I'm still watching my show. I have my earbuds plugged in, but I kept my duffel bag right beside me because of this whole insecurity feeling that was building up inside me throughout the day. I reach a point in my show where it just gets quiet. There's no dialogue, there's no music, so I can hear the things around me. There's a man and a woman talking across the aisle to each other, and they've been talking ever since we got on the bus. I have no problem with it. It's cool. You guys are having a conversation. I haven't paid attention to what they're saying this entire time, but during this audio lull in the show, he says something, and all I hear, completely out of context, he utters the words, "I actually just got out of prison." My eyeballs lit up like that emoji. My inner self-defense mechanism, fight or flight, just completely lit up. I felt all my neurons firing inside my nervous system, okay? As soon as I heard that, I gripped my bag and I started looking around me. Exits, entrances, where can he come? Where can I go? Where can I flee? Is the window beside me an emergency exit? That's all I heard, and that was enough to set me off from the entire day's buildup of tension. Just those words alone were enough to light the fire that was fueled inside me throughout the day. In that instant, my mind is running a million miles an hour, trying to figure out proper escape routes. Is something about to happen on this bus? Where can I exit? Do I need to use this duffel bag as like a defense to throw to someone? And at the same time, I'm wondering, am I gonna make it to my destination alive? Or is this it? Because we're in the middle of freaking nowhere. Any sleep I had throughout the day is completely gone at this point. My TV show is paused. I have audio pass-through enabled on my headset so I can hear what the hell is going on. And I'm listening to my surroundings as if my life depended on it because I have no idea what's about to happen. Now, I can't hear much of the conversation that's going on in front of me. The lady says some stuff. I can't make out too much of what she says. The guy says some stuff. Can't make out what he's saying either. But then the lady, for whatever reason, says something about her friend, I guess in relation to the prison thing, about her friend wanting to, and I'm gonna have to bleep out this part, but you know what I'm saying, wanting to his girlfriend with a knife. All my suspicions are being like confirmed right now, and I'm just on edge. I'm like, what are they talking about and what's about to happen? Their conversation went on and on. I still wasn't able to understand most of it, being too far away and people are talking quiet on the bus, right? My show is still paused, trying to make out just what they're saying. The more that I listen, just from the tone of this man's voice and the way he talks, even if I don't understand the words that are being said, I realize that it's not the voice of someone who's about to do something. And in fact, I took out my headphones at one point and really tried listening to what he has to say. This man was very kind. The way he's talking with this other random passenger, the way he's presenting himself. In any other circumstance, if I was to meet this guy, I would have never guessed that he just got out of prison. I realized, guys, that I completely jumped to conclusions. I let this buildup of emotions inside me throughout the day affect my judgment of this man. Like those 3 words, I just got out of prison, or however many words it is, just by itself isn't that impactful. Like someone can just get out, just because someone got out of prison doesn't make them a bad person. And it normally wouldn't have made me judge the man like that if it wasn't for all that buildup of emotions that I had throughout the day. I completely judged the book by its cover. Well, not its cover actually, because I didn't see the guy. I judged the book by the summary on the back page. I was very prejudiced. I made a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. We got off the bus. We arrived at Erie late at night. It's dark as hell, orange lights, and we're right next to the shoreline, behind the Greyhound station, right next to a big old warehouse. It's dark and cold outside. Everyone that got off the bus kind of dispersed, except for me and this guy. I'm here waiting for my pickup, and this guy who just got out of prison is asking the bus driver if he knows where the Erie Community Center is. I could only assume it was because he had nowhere to stay. I felt bad, not only for him, but also for myself in the mistake that I made in judging this man, just based off of 3 or 4 words that were completely taken out of context. He had in his hand, when he got his luggage from under the bus, a cardboard box that looks like one of those office boxes you get when you get fired from a job. They give you nothing but this cardboard box, right? That's what he had in his hand, which what I can only assume were all the possessions that he had currently in life. He had a slip of paper in his hand for the address to this community center that he showed me when I asked him, "Do you have a phone to know how to get there?" He said no. My heart immediately dropped. The bus is leaving. It's just me and this guy who has a cardboard box and address where he needs to go late at night. No ride. He's got maybe like a jacket on his back. It's freezing cold outside and he needs to get to this address. I look it up on my phone. I say, "Here, I'll find the address for you." And it's a couple blocks away. Walking distance, maybe 7 minutes. I'm reassured. At least it's not too far. He can get there. I give him the directions, but I ask him, "Do you have anything to write this down so you don't get lost? It's late, it's cold, I don't want you to get lost out there." He says no, he doesn't even have a pen to write down the directions to get to this community center. I tried to make it as easy as possible to remember, and in fact, I think I even remember it for myself. It was right, left, right, go straight, 3rd Street, it's gonna be on your right. I think that's what it was. I asked him several times, "Do you remember it? Are you gonna be able to remember? Are you gonna be able to get there?" I repeated it at least, I repeated the address, the directions to get there at least 4 times, just in case. I showed him on my phone. I said, "We're here. This is where you need to go. Take this, 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 this." He turned around and started walking away into the cold, dark night sky. And eventually, the image of him started fading away with it. Guys, that's a story that happened to me a couple weeks ago. If you've made it this far, thank you so much. And I'd really appreciate it if you dropped a like and a sub. And remember, don't judge a book by its cover.